discernment to make decisions that are pleasing in your sight. Lord, be with each person here tonight. Give them safe travels on their way home. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Next item of business, we've got a number of minutes that we need to approve. We've got our minutes from our March 31st public hearing, our March 1st public hearing, our March 1st workshop, our March 8th council meeting, our April 5th workshop, our April 10th council meeting, and our April 12th. What is the pleasure of council? All the minutes have been in our packet.
I'll make a motion to approve all minutes as presented. Public hearing, March the 1st, council workshop, March the 1st, council meeting, March 8th, council workshop, April 5th, special council workshop, April 10th, and council meeting on April 12th.
Second.
Motion and a second, tied. Any discussions, any deletions, corrections to the minutes? I have none.
I have not noticed it.
None? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous on the minutes. Van, we have a presentation tonight.
Yes, we have the Friends of Cherry Hill Oak, and we have Hope Cunningham here. It's going to make a presentation on behalf of the group
Hope.
to council.
Thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. My name's Hope Cunningham, and I live at 159 Gautier Place in Port Royal. It's not the first time I've been in this room. I kind of like coming here. So I'm here tonight to introduce you to the Friends of Cherry Hill Oak. Friends of Cherry Hill Oak is an organization that has just formed in partnership with Community Foundation of the Low Country. We're using them to manage our donations. And our mission is to partner with local government to support and preserve and protect the trees on the Cherry Hill parcel, most especially the 350-year-old witness oak that sits on that property. How did we get here? Well, last October, everyone in my neighborhood and some adjacent neighborhoods had heard that there was a development planned and that the developer was asking for a variance for 3 stories. So we turned out and said what we thought. And the design review board heard us. They heard us, and they denied the variance request. Another thing that was important happened that night. I did not know anything about the 2013 heritage oak that was identified by arborist Michael Murphy. It's a 350-year-old tree, and it has been recognized as the 2013 heritage oak. I came in here concerned about a 3-story variance and left very concerned about protecting this tree, which I felt like was a cultural icon that is an asset to our community. The slides you've already seen, so you can flip through them however you want then. So how did we get here? After that meeting, we realized, okay, we dodged that bullet, but someone else is going to come along and develop this property. So we got busy and reached out to the Open Land Trust and found out that the parcel was a really good candidate for purchase by Beaufort County through rural and critical lands. And I sent a letter to the owner of the property, and Open Land Trust reached out to him, and it took a couple of months, but he applied for fee simple purchase of the land by Beaufort County for use as a passive park. So we were all very excited about that, and we launched a petition, which you've heard about. It hadn't been out there that long, but we do have nearly 1,800 signatures. So this property has proceeded very quickly through the rural and critical lands process. We're halfway through, and Beaufort County is very much in favor of purchasing this property for a low-impact passive park. I gave you some slides that have, there's a slide, keep going, that one, okay. This one I think is important because it kind of gives you the lay of the land, both in terms of existing development and potential development. That very big green area you see there is is an existing conservation easement. This slide has been modified from a slide that was presented at the Land Use Committee. As you can see, the area in black is where the Cherry Hill property is. It's nearly 12 acres. What I want you to notice is all the development around it. And then when you go across the street, there's a parcel that has been recently annexed by the town of Port Royal and Zone T4UC, which means it's going to be fairly dense development. And I don't know what the status of the Oaks at Battery Creek is right now, but that is almost 70 acres marshfront that has that I saw a proposal for with townhouses and homes. I forget the number of units, but it's almost 70 acres. So, you know, I understand that this is the corridor to Port Royal and that it's going to be slated for a lot of development. And it would be really smart of us right now to think about the future and protect this property. Please note that it connects right next to the existing conservation easement. Go ahead. I just wanted, I didn't know about this, and I was reviewing your comprehensive plan update, and I came across this. And I thought it was pretty powerful in support of our wish to preserve this property. There were surveys sent out to Port Royal residents, which I remember filling out. And if you'll notice at the top, the topic the community is most concerned about is environmental responsibility and quality, something in quality of parks and open spaces. And on the right, you know, the vision for Port Royal, which I cannot read, echoes that sentiment and also talks about bringing the entire community together. Next slide. So here's a slide that shows the existing parks in Port Royal, which are all wonderful parks. But if you'll look, they're all concentrated in one area of Port Royal. If you look where it says Cherry Hill Park, there are no parks in that part of Port Royal. Next. So that's about the petition that we're using to try and get support to demonstrate to Beaufort County that this is a good purchase. Next. Here, I'll let you guys review this. It's just 6 reasons why trees need our help. And I'll just, you know, very briefly say, trees keep the world cool. A paved area can be 8 degrees hotter than a shaded area. Trees are a habitat for wildlife, and I know quite a few people here that really love Port Royal because of the birding opportunities. Trees clean the air. They remove carbon dioxide, which is important if you're going to have increased traffic, and they make oxygen for us to breathe. They also hold the soil and filter the water. They make our world better. So you can move to the final slide now. So we need your help. I have met with various people at Beaufort County and asked them what they would like to see with this project. And we've worked closely with Stephanie Naguid at Passive Parks, and she's given us a wish list, and we are raising money to meet those needs. Most immediately the cleanup of the heritage oak and the removal of hazard trees, which alone will be about $10,000. And in the long run, we intend to establish an endowment that will release funds yearly for the care of these trees. So if there's a hurricane, Port Royal has help. I'm not going to back off. Anyway, I'm saying that all the people, most of the people you see here are really committed to helping to preserve those trees. And so, you know, I was told, or frankly, I went to a land use committee meeting at Beaufort Council, and there were officials there that were very vociferous about their displeasure because they interpreted that Port Royal wasn't going to help with the project. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't believe it. But I am here personally to tell you I've been working my butt off trying to make this happen. I've never done this before, but it needs doing. And we need your help. Thank you.
Hope, stay there. Hope, stay. First of all, thank you
You're
for
welcome.
doing this. Port Royal is more than aware of that tree, has done a lot to preserve that tree over the years, has denied projects, as you've seen. We just passed the strongest tree ordinance in this
love you
county
for it.
and in probably this state. We had never been reached out to by Beaufort County asking for any support.
Really?
So I just want to put that out there. We are here to support this tree. I think, where is it in the purchase process? Give me time. Where is it in the purchase
I met
process?
with Kate Schaefer this past week, and we discussed a couple of options. Obviously, they're finalizing purchase price, but beyond just the purchase itself, it's the capital to create the park, as well as any sort of safety features involved, as well as ongoing maintenance. And what she and I discussed was a modification to our existing landscaping contract, so that we could maintain the
We'll
park
maintain the landscape.
as part of the overall annual contract that we have for landscaping for parks.
We don't have a really big capital budget that we can throw
Right.
money at.
You
but we
don't
can
need
certainly do
one.
something.
But the other part of that is
Okay.
obviously because, you know, you saw how it's kind of remote, so we need to have some sort of safety features, if you will. If you're very familiar with Fort Frederick, we do have an automated gate.
Yep.
And so
Dawn to dusk,
she and I
automated
talked about a
gate.
potential capital contribution from the town to address that portion of the park.
As far as rural critical lands, they have not finalized the vote.
I think they're working on it. I think they're close.
Are they, you think they'll have that before our next council meeting?
I'd have to talk to Kate a little bit more
If
about
not, can you-
I don't think they're meeting till June.
Okay.
It's not on the agenda.
Okay, can you have a proclamation ready for me
Yeah,
for
sure.
next council meeting to do a proclamation supporting the purchase of the property? So we can have that out
And
and
while I
ready in
appreciate
time?
that they're called Beaufort County, all of
All
you
of
that
you
live in
pay
Port Royal
for
are
rural and
Beaufort
critical
County
lands.
taxpayers. So for there to be any sort of discussion that Port Royal is not contributing, we do.
We do.
pay taxes, we pay fair share, just like everybody, every other resident and property owner. in
We
Beaufort
also were
County.
quietly steering it towards rural and critical lands, because that's where we believe the right
Oh,
place
that's
for it to
wonderful.
go. So, we're all on board with this.
That makes
You
me
got our
very
support.
happy.
I think we have all of council. Anybody want to add anything?
Yeah, well, I was just gonna ask, kind of, is this something we need to vote on, or is it just a
You
proclamation?
can't tonight, it's not an
I mean, not
action
tonight,
item.
yes.
Not an action
Yeah,
item,
but
but we can
officially
next
through
week.
some sort of proclamation resolution.
then just-
You could attach through the resolution some discussion of the modification of the landscaping contract, as
Yep.
well as a yet-to-be-determined contribution.
I just want to
for
give them
safety features.
something before your next meeting with the county, so you can.
Right, that's why I asked where it was, because we had to do something
Well, I
special with
think-
the county.
Yeah, we
I
have
think you'll
time.
come back and tell them that,
Yes, I will.
that we are supporting.
Yeah,
It sounds like
I
at staff level
absolutely will. And, you know, this process has been hard. You get little pieces of stuff from here and there. And I hope you understand that when we saw that at the Land Use Committee, we were concerned that no matter what we did, this wouldn't happen. So now I feel really good about it, and I really appreciate you listening.
Oh, no problem at all. We appreciate you taking the time. And we
Thank
will-
you for being here. Thank you for all your.
Thank you for sharing.
Okay, our next item of business is we've got two more interviews for our Accommodation Tax Committee that we were not able to complete last week.
Oh, you got the names.
Got the names?
Okay.
Got the names, thank you very much. I got a little cheat sheet. Jordy, ran away. Elizabeth Smith. Come on, Liz.
Bring it on.
Hi. So, Elizabeth, what we do is we like to interview members who are applying for be one of our boards and commissions. It's normally the week before at a workshop, but you could make it. We understand, we're accommodating. So we'd just like to hear a little bit from you about why you think the Accommodation Tax Committee is important, why you want to serve, a little bit about yourself, and then later tonight, we're going to be voting on filling the positions.
Well, I'm Elizabeth Smith. I'm a local resident as of like 2 years, end of the month. So I was a tourist not long ago, and so I really remember Port Royal in that kind of light. I own my own business in town, so it's mostly online, but we do a lot with the other local businesses. So for me, it's important thinking about how to build small businesses here, local businesses, and bringing tourists in is obviously a big part of that. And I hope to hear or have some innovative ideas how to do that. That's both measurable and accountable. So that's my hope.
Thank you. Questions? Everybody, council? Good?
Thank you for.
Thank you. Thank you for being willing to serve.
Thank you.
Is the other member here? No?
Okay.
Brooke, you don't see them, do you?
No. They didn't come up.
Okay, we'll come back to it later if they happen to come late. And now we're back to our council briefing. Any updates?
No, nothing, we covered it pretty extensively last week. Unless you guys have questions, I think we can just move forward with the agenda if you want.
Any questions about the briefing? Any updates or anything? Okay, then we're good. We'll move on this time for public comment for any items that's on the agenda this evening. The two that I have here are not on the agenda right at this point in time. Does anybody have anything that's on the agenda tonight? If not, we'll move right back into the agenda. Van, second reading?
Sure. Ordinance 2023-6, an ordinance to approve the participation in the South Carolina Local Revenue Services. As I mentioned the last meeting at the workshop, we have a standard ordinance now mandated by the state that governs business license and business license renewal, and that we needed some consistent language that recognizes MASC as a collector of telecommunications and insurance fees, business license fees on behalf of the municipalities. So that's what this ordinance does.
Council, any questions?
No, sir.
I'll entertain a motion for ordinance 2023-6.
So moved that we approve ordinance 2023-6.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
No, sir.
Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. It's unanimous. Thank you. Next ordinance.
Ordinance 2023-7, an ordinance to rezone approximately .82 acres of real estate described as Beaufort County Tax District 110, Map 9, Parcel 16, located in Beaufort County, South Carolina, to be rezoned from T4 Urban Center to T4 Urban Center to include manufactured homes on individual lots. Overlay zone standards. This is property located at 1301 H.E. Smalls Court. It's a property you see that's in the green outline here behind Alvin Ord's. The existing manufactured home overlay is what you see encompassed in the black dotted line behind it. So it is adjacent to the existing overlay. The Metro Planning Commission did not recommend this request. However, we did speak with the applicant, who is here, who can answer any additional questions you have, but we've obviously had a public hearing on this as well.
Right. So we've entertained this motion at a workshop. We've entertained it at a council meeting. We've had a public hearing on this. What's the pleasure of council?
Make a motion to approve ordinance 2023-7.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Further discussion? Any more information needed from the applicant? If not, I'll call for the question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. It's unanimous. First readings.
All right, ordinance 2023-8, an ordinance to authorize the town manager to convey excess real property to facilitate construction of sidewalks within the town described as Beaufort County Tax District 110, map 10, parcel 0073. This is property located at 1201 16th Street. It's approximately 76.6 feet on 16th and 98.5 on Columbia Avenue. It does comply with the sidewalk construction program. And the map, obviously you had the map located in your folders, and this is, like I said, a request that it is in compliance.
Van, we have a lot of new people here tonight. What is the sidewalk construction program?
Basically, it's a cost-sharing program that the town undertook probably 2 decades ago to kind of fill in the gaps on the sidewalk. It does convey excess property to the property owner, giving them a little bit more flexibility, but they do cost-share the construction of the sidewalk.
So if you didn't know about our downtown streets, we have a lot of 80-foot wide right-of-ways.
Yeah.
To put that in perspective, Reboat Road is 66 feet wide, so that's how wide the right-of-ways are. So we give a little property back to the property owners in front of each home if they're willing to participate and build sidewalks along with the construction of the house. So that's the program, if you've not heard that before, to give you an explanation of that. What's the pleasure of council?
Move that we approve ordinance 2023-8.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Well, but people gonna look around the town because we just did a whole bunch in the town.
Mile of sidewalks
Yep,
in this downtown
that's
area.
great.
Yep. I'll call for the question. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
All right, ordinance 2023-9, an ordinance to amend as follows. Section 1 of ordinance 2022-4 to provide for the levy of taxes for ordinary town purposes in the town of Port Royal, South Carolina for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2023, and to provide for the expenditures thereof. We've held a couple of budget workshops, looked at each of the individual budgets. One of the things that's included in the budget for the upcoming fiscal year is some additional positions, police department, zoning, and streets and sanitation, building services. It does include a 5% cost of living adjustment. We're not anticipating right now any sort of millage increase whatsoever. We've seen enough growth in the existing property tax base to cover those additional expenditures. Budget anticipated for the upcoming fiscal year is going to be a little over $9 million.
Very good. Again, for an explanation, we are required to have a passed budget in June, so this is our first reading. We will have probably one more workshop.
Correct.
That we'll be working through before our next meeting, when we'll have all the final numbers and have an approved budget, balanced budget to pass. Pleasure of council.
Move that we approve ordinance 2023-9.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on the budget? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? It's unanimous.
All right. 2023-10, an ordinance to approve the court department budget for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2023. We do a standalone ordinance for this particular department, so to avoid any sort of appearances of conflict. So the budget for the upcoming fiscal year for the court is approximately, $201,845.
So for this vote, I have to recuse myself, and that's why we do it this way. Just so everyone knows, some of our court budget does go to the solicitor's office and also the public defender's office. I do some contract work with the public defender's office, so for that reason, I always recuse myself from this part of the budget. So
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you, Kevin.
just fade away.
That's it. You're good. Rest of council. Any, what's the pleasure of council?
Move that we approve ordinance 2023-10.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Unanimous and one recusal. Kevin, welcome back.
And I'm back.
All right. 2023-11, an ordinance to rezone approximately .39 acres of real estate described as Beaufort County Tax District 110, map 10, parcel 343, located in Beaufort County, South Carolina, to be rezoned from T3 Edge to T4 Neighborhood Center Open. This is property located at 2001 Berkeley Circle. You can see it there in the green. I'll blow it up just a little bit. The Metro Planning Commission considered the application and did recommend the rezoning request. You do have the staff analysis in your folders, and it's obviously in compliance with the future land use map for the town of Port Royal.
We've seen this at a workshop already. What's the pleasure of council?
I make a motion we adopt ordinance 2023-11.
Thank you very much. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on this? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? It's unanimous. Next item of business is we have appointments.
Correct. And just by way of background, because we crossed the $50,000 threshold for local accommodation tax, the town is required to stand up its own accommodation tax committee, which will be charged with reviewing applications for the discretionary funds that are available to the committee. They obviously make recommendations that council ultimately either supports or modifies.
So we have one that we have not interviewed yet, and they're still not here? Okay. Do you have a list of the names?
Do we have a list of the names?
Provided one.
Okay. So, council, how do you want to do this? You want to do this as a group or individual?
Which we are required to have how many, 7?
We need a total of 7. We have interviewed 5 at this point. We're still looking for somebody. Anybody here want to be part of the ATAX committee? Still got time.
And we can function with 5 if
We
necessary.
can function with
Let's
5.
take them as a group.
Majority.
Take them as a group?
Agree.
Okay, we got Gregory Godfrey, Dick Borgini, Carla Ferguson, Morgan, how do you pronounce the last?
Marcy Roy.
What?
Iovine.
Okay, thank you, Ivine, and Elizabeth Smith. What's the pleasure of council?
I move that we approve the slate as presented to serve on the Accommodation Tax Committee.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We welcome you if you're here. This is a new committee because we have met the threshold now. We are looking forward to working with it, and we will find 2 more members, or you will find 2 more members to join you, and we will get that taken care of in that way. So thank you
We have a
very
quorum.
much for that. Next, we've got a reappointment of Nancy Plank to the CVB. She could not make it tonight. She's babysitting a very important child in that way. But Nancy's more than willing to serve again, and I'd entertain a motion.
Well, she's done a tremendous job, so I move that we approve Ms. Plank to resume her appointment.
Second that one.
We have a motion and a second. Thank her very much for us. And all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
All right.
It's the intergovernmental agreement.
Yeah, this is just a formalization of what we discussed earlier with the local revenue service ordinance. This is a recognition of the relationship that the town has with the municipal association to serve as the collector of those business license fees for telecommunications and insurance.
Very good.
And we just,
Pleasure, council.
didn't we just
Do it.
approve that earlier?
This is the IGA.
This is-
Okay.
You do the
Intergovernmental
ordinance, then you do the agreement. One says we can legally do it, one says how we do it.
Yes,
Well, I
It's the
move
easiest
that-
way to describe the two.
you got it.
Well, I move that we approve local revenue services intergovernment agreement.
We have a motion. We have a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Thank you, everybody.
All right. Important information and dates, Monday, May 15th.
Wait,
got one more.
redevelopment commission?
See,
Oh, okay. All right, yeah. This last item, there was the recommendation at the last redevelopment commission meeting for a designation of the Recovery Act funds that we received. They obviously have been focused on infrastructure that is along the Rebo Gateway. And one of the things they're asking for is a $3.5 million designation of those funds for design, master planning, and potentially installation of that infrastructure. 3.5 million might be a little ambitious. I don't know if you guys want to think a little bit more about the actual dollar amount set aside for that, because we're still in the middle of capital planning.
Correct.
So,
I was okay with allocating money for the study.
I think we need to go back.
Start.
I think what I would ask the redevelopment commission is to bring us a price to do the study.
okay.
Let us know what the hard course is on the study, because The relationship between us and Beaufort Jasper Water and Sewer Authority is in place. Part of that relationship was that this town, as well as the city of Beaufort, Hardyville, Bluffton, all who joined into the Water Authority, gets to share the larger capital pot of money, and they need to be looking at this as well. We're okay with funding the study, and then we need to present that to the Water Authority and see how they can help fund to put the sewer service and what's needed along Rebo Road. Does council agree?
Is that a motion?
Do you need that as a motion?
I can deliver that message at the next meeting.
Yeah, I don't think we need to vote on saying, go back and give us a little more information.
Okay.
Yeah, because we're not.
Okay.
So do we need a
This
motion
is
to
too high.
postpone that, or do we need to vote on it?
I don't think so.
No action.
No action, no action,
taken.
no action at all taken on that. Okay? Now, important date.
Thursday, May 11th, the Beaufort Eye Center ribbon cutting at 1664 Rebo Road at 4 p.m.
Open to everybody.
Saturday, May 13th, is the ribbon cutting for the outdoor gym equipment at the Naval Heritage Park at 10 a.m.
Really looking for people to work out while we cut the
There
ribbon.
we go.
No takers?
Tuesday, May 16th, redevelopment commission meeting at 4:30 p.m. right here at Town Hall. Saturday, May 20th at 6 p.m. is the second installment of the street music.
Yes.
And then Saturday, June 3rd is the third installment of the street music at 6 p.m.
6 p.m.
And that's what I've got. Y'all have any additional dates or,
I have no additional.
all right?
If you missed last week's street music, what a beautiful evening it was. Great weather, it was great music. We're going to open up to public comment. I do have two people that submitted. Michael Murphy. Michael, welcome. As always, welcome.
Good evening. Hi. So I'm here tonight to encourage Mayor and Council to give active support to the Cherry Hill Oak Park, which is currently in due diligence for purchase by Beaufort County Rural and Critical Lands Program. Now, I'm not a resident of Port Royal. I live on Ladies Island, but somebody told me there was a tree involved, so I thought I had to get up and say something. So this 12-acre site does have a tree involved, and it's not just any tree, as we've heard tonight. This is the 2013 South Carolina Heritage Tree of the Year, also the oldest and largest documented tree in Beaufort County. The tree grows on hollowed ground, not only because of the 1818 gravestone that sits under its canopy, but also because at 350 years old, it is a witness to the founding of Beaufort District back in 1709. So as Port Royal's annexation spread further from the amenities that make its old village so special, some planning must begin to develop new, similarly unique amenities more centrally located to these perimeter areas. And this is a grand opportunity, I think, for you to fulfill fulfill planning objectives that the Port Royal Community Surveys described as most important and ideal for the vision of this town, which weighed heavily towards open space and environmental responsibility. Now, when this purchase is completed, the only way that this is going to become a park is if Port Royal actively supports and partners with Beaufort County and its Passive Parks program. Now, I'm sure that the town has partnered with the county on different levels in different situations throughout the years, but I can guarantee that this partnership is going to be different. I mean, you heard from Hope. You heard about this group that she's completely developed, pulled out of her pocket, actually. And it's due to all this organization and dedication and this Friends of Cherry Hill Park that's going to make this partnership go so much more smoothly. And I'm very encouraged to hear that a proclamation to the effect that the county was going to be drafted shortly. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Michael, as always. Bobby Monroe?
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, council members, for allowing me to come in and speak tonight. My name is Bobby Monroe. We're out of the East Coast region, HDL Companies. We have programs that help cities and towns across the country increase their revenue. The thing I want to tell you about tonight is a program called Revenue Enhancement. What we do is we find businesses coming into Port Royal without a business license. We generate those leads, send you between 10 and 30 every month. of those companies. We do all the calling, all the collecting. You get paid first before we get paid. If you don't get paid, we never get paid. We have over 75 cities and towns across the state and over 650 across the country doing these various programs. We also, a separate program is helping you discover short-term rentals, which is very big. Columbia is one of our clients, and they're very interested in that. And we discovered over 600 just right out of the gate for them that they didn't have. So it's a performance-based program, which means, like I said, if we don't perform, we don't get paid. And I always tell people, don't take my word. Ask the surrounding cities around you that are our clients. I'd love to set up a follow-up meeting with Mr. Willis and discuss this and maybe come back and present a little bit longer than 2 minutes. But it is a big revenue generator, and we've already done research here in Port Royal. You guys are sitting on some revenue, but we can't flip that switch until you guys, approve it and want to come on board. So that's really all I have. I know you can't answer questions or whatever, but thank you so much. And if it's okay, Mr. Willis, I'd like to follow up with you if that's okay.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Open it up to any public comment, even if you didn't fill out a form. Seeing none, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, everybody. Agenda is complete. No vote necessary.